everybody, it's Chris Eads, and online is Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast for you. This week I went to the movies, but I did not see Megan 2.0 because, which was the big new release, because I didn't actually like Megan all that much. That was a little overhyped, and it wasn't, for a horror comedy, it wasn't particularly scary or as funny as I thought it was. And while this one is clearly going in a totally different direction, and it looks ridiculous, I don't know if it's like good ridiculous or stupid ridiculous. So we'll just watch that on TV at some point streaming. Instead, I decided that I would check out the new Pixar movie, Elio, because it came out last week, but I couldn't see it until this week. It's about a little boy whose parents are dead, and he's being raised by his aunt, and he feels all alone in the world, and he wants to be abducted by aliens so that he can be part of their world. And then that happens, and chaos and insanity ensue. So it's good. It's fine. It's not like, oh my god, that was amazing. I didn't really cry at the end or anything. Like, it was fine. Like, it's perfectly sweet and charming. There are some amazing, like, extraterrestrial imagery going on. Great animation. Good performances. Like, it's solid. But I would much rather see something like this than another soulless live-action remake of another animated classic. You know, it's like, give me something new, you know? But Disney doesn't want to really promote anything new. They want to put all their money behind their live action remakes, so you couldn't go anywhere without seeing Lilo and Stitch. And like, Elio was tanking because they didn't bother to promote it at all, and people don't even know it exists. Like, to be fair, I did see it at the Kips Bay Theater, which is kind of out of the way, and it's never as crowded. There was maybe like 6 to 8 people in the theater. It was not crowded at all. Also, it was a 3D show, so maybe people were like, well, I'm not spending extra money on 3D. Though the 3D was pretty good in spots. But yeah, it was not super crowded, and it is a shame that Disney is burying original work to promote their carbon copy Xeroxes that are making billions of dollars for some reason. I don't know why. It bothers me, like, a lot. So, anyway, moving on to games. I'm still playing Fitness Boxing 3, which, as an aside, if you were curious about Fitness Boxing 3, just like a lot of times, I buy a game and then it immediately goes on sale. Or goes free with PlayStation Plus. So I paid $50 if I just waited another week. It is now on sale for $35. I could have saved $15 if I just maybe waited and said, I don't know if I want to get this or not. But, oh well. But yeah, it's on sale now. So fuck me. I'm still exploring. There are so many different like features and kinds of stuff you can do in the menu, and I'm still checking them out. I do primarily do the regular workouts. I like it because it's like there's a stretch and then an exercise or two depending on how long of a workout you're picking. Like the short workout, it's like stretch, exercise, stretch. The middle one is like stretch, 2 exercises, stretch. And I think I haven't done the longer workout, but I'm assuming it's stretch, 3 exercises and stretch. But I do those because that feels like a proper, like, I'm stretching, and then I do my boxing workout, and then I'm sweating, and then I stretch it out, and then I'm good. The other stuff, it's like, I did see something in the menu where you can go in and stretch separately, but I haven't done that yet, because I feel like you should stretch before you do these other things. Like, I did the mitt drills, which were fine. And then I did this box and bond thing, which was weird. It's just another boxing routine. It's just that there's like a little dialogue beforehand where the trainer says something weird. Like this one, he was like, I ate so many barbecue ribs. Now I have all this energy to box you. Let's have fun, you know? And I'm like, all right, whatever. But yeah, it's just another thing that you can do. I think I did the first one and I unlocked like a new shirt or something, whatever. But it continues to be a good workout. I do sweat and it is still fun. And I like that it like mostly like the first exercise is like it builds up the combo like piece by piece as you go. So it's like left, right, uppercut, left, right, uppercut, hook, you know, like, and it builds the combo over time. And then it's like, okay, now we have the combo, do it 6 times. And that's, you know, and it rates you on that. But you're punching the whole time. So it's a good solid workout as you're building the combo, and then you put it all into the combo and you're good. And then sometimes they're like, at the end of a longer routine, you know, it'll be at the end of the exercise program, it'll be like, you know, boom, 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 and it'll just be fast. It'll be like this, now combo. And you're like, ah! So it keeps the pace going. And I've yet to see any like super hard, super fast ones yet. They've still been pretty moderate. I think the game is building me up. So we'll see how that happens. Because I've also been trying to do what the game suggests, because I want to see what it's suggesting and if it's going to build over time, and like how it evolves and adds new things and speeds up and gets more challenging and difficult and whatever. Like, I don't want to make it do that. I want to see if it does it on its own. Then I've also been spending some time with Disney and Nikki, because Disney, obviously the new Star Path I've been pushing ahead on. I foolishly, last time I decided that I would knowing that there was going to be a boutique challenge and then there would be a later boutique challenge. Like, you'd finish one boutique challenge thing and then another one would show up in the list and you're like, damn it. So I waited until 2 of them showed up to do it. And then this time, that we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So this time I did the same thing with the Dream Snap challenge. You know, it was like, enter a Dream Snaps challenge. And I'm like, great, I'll wait for another one to show up, and that way I can just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Except after I did it, which it was a Pride one, so I just gate out, and we'll see how I do. Lots of rainbow balloons. So I didn't think until after I did it, and then I was like, oh, I shouldn't double these up. Because it's helpful to kill 2 Star Path duties in one shot, but this Dream Snaps, you get Moonstones as a reward, whereas with the boutique challenges, I don't care about doubling them up, because you get like those daisy coins or whatever, and I don't use them for anything because I don't do anything with the boutique because I don't like it. This is literally the only time I go in the boutique, is when there's a Star Path challenge. So those I can double up, but the Dream Snaps, I realized I shouldn't double up, because I should be entering Dream Snaps more frequently to earn more Moonstones. Because Moonstones have not been a problem in Disney Dreamlight Valley. I've not had to like spend real world money to buy Moonstones, because I've always had 15,000 Moonstones, 18,000. It's been great. But recently I've been buying a lot of stuff in the store, and this week I bought a new camper van house skin, for the summer, so I can stay in a camper for the summer. And then I also bought Max the dog from The Little Mermaid, because he's adorable and I love him. So that was a lot of money that I wasted. Because Max was also kind of expensive, because he came with a bunch of Little Mermaid furniture, and I'm like, ugh, fine. I just want the dog, but whatever. And that put me down at 7,000 Moonstones, and I'm like, oh no, that's not a lot. So I need to build up my Moonstones again and not buy things, because it's bad. But it is cute that they added something with companions. I now have a companion with me all the time, because as you can level up your companions with their friendship levels, like the other villagers, but then also stuff on the ground, like holes or the sticks or whatever on the ground, little paw icons will appear over them. And if you hold the paw icon, if you look at that and leave the paw icon on it for a few seconds, your companion will run over and collect it for you. which is super convenient and helpful. And it actually gives the companions a reason to exist instead of just following you around looking cute. So that's nice. And then with Nikki, I was trying to do the side quests for the current event, except I did these side quests and I thought I had finished them, but now all of a sudden there's a bunch more side quests and I didn't see any icons on the map, but now all of a sudden there's more stuff to do and I'm like, where did this come from? Rude. But I did do enough side quests and other things in this event I did these tasks. They were a little easier than the last one. So I got this pretty outfit, the free limited time outfit. If you do the certain number of tasks, you will get the pieces for this outfit. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I did enough stuff and I got this outfit and it's very pretty. And then I also saw that I had a lot of resonant crystals. So not for the limited time stuff, because I didn't like any of this limited time stuff right now. But I had a bunch for the regular ongoing stuff. So I did a couple of gotcha pulls for that. And I got a bunch of crap, more duplicate crap. I didn't get anything for the main outfit, but I did get a couple of pieces. One which finished off an alternative look for fishing, and then another one which created an alternative look for bug catching. So that's cute because you can like change which outfit you're wearing when you're doing those things. So just for some visual variety. But apparently I've got more side quests to do, I guess. Rude. But I did also finish Tell Me Why this week. And I have to say, I liked it as a whole. But like episode 1 was great. Episode 2 was very good. And then episode 3 was just kind of good. I feel like it kind of fell apart at the end. Like, I was very invested in the twins and their story and their bond. And I didn't want to do anything to upset that bond. I wanted them to stay close. And episode 3 starts with them, having had a fight at the end of episode 2. So you have to bring them back together. But it's like, I was very invested in that. I was also weirdly invested in Tyler's relationship with Michael. There's this whole ice fishing scene that's very cute, and there's also a mini game. There was also a mini game for Allison when she was having a panic attack. She was using like a controlled breathing app on her phone, and you had to like pull the trigger, push a button to like breathe in and breathe out, breathe in and breathe out. And then there was this fishing mini game where you had to like pull the trigger to like fish and collect the fish, and it was just sort of like this weird little game thing, putting a little game in your adventure game instead of just dialogue choices. But it was fine. But I was very invested in the scene, the ice fishing scene with Michael, and like this potential romance between the two characters. And then you get to the end, and it's like there's this mystery of who's the twins' father, which I felt like it was pretty obvious. So I wasn't surprised by the reveal at the end, this big climactic moment. And then it comes down to the murder. And it's like, what do you believe happened that night? And one choice is bad and the other choice is really bad. Like, it's all tragic and sad and not good. But they're both equally like tragic. Although I think one's a little more tragic, but whatever. But I don't know why I'm avoiding spoilers for a 5-year-old game, but I am. But I just felt like the ending, then there's like this epilogue where Tyler's clearing out the house and packing to go meet his sister and Michael in Juneau, where they're going to start their new lives. And I just felt like it didn't feel like enough of a wrap-up. Because usually in these kinds of games, like at the end, you see like the repercussions of the choices that you had made previously in the game. And what's funny is that I looked online to see what the other ending was, and they're basically, it's either Tyler packing up the house, which is what I got, or Allison's moving in. And that to me seems very sad. And she's just going to live in this grief and tragedy for the rest of her life, which doesn't seem like a good idea. But apparently, as you go around the house, like there's pictures and stuff. But the differences, they are reflecting the choices you made, but the differences are so subtle. Like I would never have noticed. Like basically like in a photograph, like the positioning of the characters is different depending on how the choices you made and the relationship. Like, are you friendly or are you not? You know, and so they'll be posed in different ways depending. And I'm like, well, that's really subtle. So like, okay, fine. But it just felt kind of anticlimactic. Because the thing is like, when I first started this game, I thought that the point of it was that, like in episode 1, it was very much a focus of Tyler had transitioned and was now a trans man, and I thought that it was going to be like how he navigates the world, and the game puts you in the shoes of a trans man, and how do you navigate the world. But then like everyone that you interact with is like fine, and they're like a couple of people are like a little awkward at first, and there's one person who's like super religious, and she had a big problem with it, but now to your face is like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll be nice, you know? And it's like, okay, are you really changing or not? I don't think you are. But like, that wasn't really the focus of the game. The story was about this murder and the tragedy and the trauma that the twins endured, and trying to like figure out what really happened so they can put it to rest. But weirdly, in the second episode, it stopped being about Tyler's trans identity and became more about the murder and the tragedy and the trauma. And I thought, oh, okay, this is about mental illness because their mother clearly was unstable. I thought maybe she was bipolar at one point. And at the end of the second episode, Allison appears to be, you know, following down that same road. And at the beginning of the third episode, she's having like these visions and imagining like people from her past, like her mother yelling at her and people yelling at her and like calling her useless. And I'm like, okay, so it's about mental health and we're going to have to help Allison get through this trauma. But then it stopped being about that. And presumably she's getting help in Juneau because there's no mental health facilities in this small town where they live in Alaska. But in the big city, she can go see a therapist, and it's, you know, it's mentioned that she's doing this, but it's not like a main focus of it. So I just thought it was weird. And I didn't understand like the main focus, like what was the point of the story? Like what were you trying to say? And I just felt like it started out as one thing, then I thought it was becoming something else, but then in episode 3, it just sort of was like, and now we're done. And it was like, oh, okay, fine. I got very into the characters, very into their relationships and stories, and I did enjoy like making the dialogue. I thought some of the dialogue was a little difficult to choose. I'm like, oh, do I want to be a dick? Do I want to forgive them? I don't know. Okay, let's forgive them, or you know, like, it depended on my mood at the time, and like it was very interesting. And there were various game things. You know, I did prefer like when it was like you're looking for the police files, so you're like looking for the box with the right numbers on it, and you know, like that sort of thing, and like working out in the computer, like trying to figure that out, like those kinds of adventure game puzzles that are more part of the world. But they did early on in episode 1 establish that their mother Marianne, because she and the twins created this whole fantasy world with all these characters that they wrote all these stories about in the Book of Goblins. And like to get into her bedroom to advance the story, you had to solve a puzzle. There was like this woodworking puzzle that you had to move, slide things around, whatever. And there's a bunch of these kinds of puzzles throughout the game. And the climax of the game, you get to this room where there's all these puzzles. It's just tons of puzzles. And I was like, oh, okay. But they'd established that Marianne was a puzzle person, so it didn't seem as out of the blue to suddenly have like all these multiple puzzles to solve. But then they also were good because you solved them by saying, okay, well, this is what happened to Marianne, so it like factored into her life. The puzzles reflected her ordeals and trauma and everything. And then the climax of all of that, you solve these multiple puzzles, and then you can open up this puzzle. You solve the puzzle on this box, and the box contained, the final piece to explain why Marianne was so upset. And it was very sad, and I was like, oh, that's very sad. But I did find it weird because I had thought that it was about her mental illness and Allison inheriting her mental illness. And so it was weird to me that it was like, oh no, it was just this, and that was the thing that caused her this trauma, and that's why she was so upset, and that's why she did what she did. And I'm like, I guess, okay. It just felt anticlimactic in a way. So it was a good game. I did enjoy it. It was also free. If you have an Xbox, you can download it from the store for free. There's still a few more days. They make it free every June for Pride Month. And it was nice. It was also nice because it's 100 degrees out, so it was very nice to play something that's taking place in Alaska with a lot of snow, and it felt very cool and calming. So that is it for this episode. I've rambled on far too long. I will shut up now, and I won't even be here for next week. There will be a delay because it's the 4th of July weekend, so I will see you the following weekend, and I will talk about whatever. And I will definitely be talking about The Last Campfire, which, as you might recall from a previous episode, I had bought for like $1.50 on the Nintendo Switch sale. And I'm going to play that on my commute out to Massachusetts. So I'll have some thoughts on that and other things too. So find out what then. Bye!